Hello everyone, it's Yuki here and welcome back to episode 7 of my Let's Play survival series. As you can see here, I finished up the tunnel all the way up. It was a bit tricky to get it done all the way to the end with the bubble column in place, but I think I did a pretty good job in hiding this. So now it actually is a functional tunnel. I don't have to struggle to get up or down. It's just a normal staircase. Then the bubble column just takes me all the way up. After finishing the tunnel, I also worked a bit on the path that we built the previous episodes, and I added these lampposts. They are going pretty much all the way back to the village. It was definitely a grind to get all the resources for that, but it ended up being pretty nice. So as you can see, they pretty much go all the way across the bridge and then they end up at the village. The plan for today's episode though is going to be to make the village very villager friendly. I want to have the village where the villagers can just walk by themselves and they don't have to just be closed into a house. So we can actually have some movement in the village rather than just a static plain old building. I'm going to try to make the space as big as I can, but I'm going to try to avoid all the holes in the ground. For example, on the other side of the village, there's like a really big ravine. So I'm not going to allow them to go over on this side. So I'm probably going to fence it off before this hole here. So they should have enough space to wander around the area. I'm probably going to have to get rid of these bushes as well, because they're probably going to hurt themselves. So I'd rather not have any of them die, because these are going to be villagers that I actually use for trading. Also, as a secondary goal, since at the moment I only have the lampposts put along the path, I want to actually make it nicer alongside the path so it doesn't look that plain. So I'm going to try to use the moss a bit more, maybe add some wood fences, kind of make it a bit nicer to walk around, and maybe if I manage to make it a bit more mob proof as well. Before I go ahead and fence the whole area off, I'm definitely going to need a lot of wood. So I think I'm going to go back to the first base that I built. And then I'm going to try to use that wood farm because it's a bit easier due to the water being there. So enjoy a nice time lapse of cutting down trees, and I'll see you back in a bit. Alright, so we got the wood now, so let's start planning out the area that I want the villagers to be in. And I think the first thing is gonna be to put a gate here, because I don't think I want them to wander down over here. It's gonna be a bit tricky to make the fence on a hill, so I'm probably just gonna mark it off here, get it closed off at this house, so they're not gonna be allowed to walk behind these houses here. So it's gonna stop pretty much around this line. Then it's gonna go around, probably stop at the pumpkin and melon farm, maybe go a bit around those houses and then behind those. So it's gonna be a decent enough area, and I don't want it to have it too big because then they're just gonna wander off too far away from their workstations. So then they might just die for whatever reason. They are villagers in the end. Okay, so the layout is pretty much complete now. This is how it looks like from above. So it's just a fence around the houses, like I said. And then I added some fence gates at key points. One here, one at the entrance at the village here, and then another one over here. I have also added a lightning rod here, and I added some iron bars just to look a bit more realistic. This is just to make sure that none of the villagers actually get hit by lightning in case of a thunderstorm. I'm now gonna work a bit around the village, and then I can let them out and see if I messed up and they managed to get out somehow. Alright, so the last step here is to replace these iron doors with wooden doors, so the villagers can open them themselves. And that should allow them going forward to be free around the village. Then the last two are the ones that I use for the breeder. I actually made this, I closed off the whole thing, so I'm gonna make a different villager breeder once I need it. So for the moment, they're pretty much free to roam around the village. This guy got this barrel, so he's now a fisherman. And the other ones didn't actually leave the houses yet, but I'm expecting they will soon enough. It's probably still morning, so it's gonna be a while until they leave. And they're definitely gonna be leaving in the evening to go for a gossip around the bell, I believe. Oh, there we go. We have the librarian roaming around a bit. Maybe I can take this, and instead of having the lectern here for the librarian, I can actually put it in the house that belongs into. I believe it was here. Yeah. Oh, he got the other one. That's okay as well. Yeah, so maybe it would be a bit tricky to get this guy to be another librarian, considering how many barrels and other things I have around here. But for now, I don't necessarily need anything from the villagers, so he can be a fisherman if he wants to. Like I said, it's now evening time, and here they are gathering around the bell, having some gossip. I believe some iron golems would also spawn if they do gossip, and probably once some mobs start spawning around when I'm AFKing, they're probably gonna spawn even more. So the outside area is gonna be a bit more protected as well, just in case anything gets close enough. Alright, so for the next step is gonna be to improve the path going all the way to the village. And it's going to be something around these lines. I want to add a bit more color to make it look a bit more full. I'm probably gonna use a few fences to kind of break it down a bit more to break the color, but that's kind of the whole idea. And the thing is that once we get their wings, it should look very nice from above. So I'm not just preparing for walking the path, but it's gonna look very nice once we fly over it. And I want to keep the whole world very aesthetic when you look at it from above. So that's why I kind of wanted to get this path in between everything that I have, so it looks so much better rather than just flying over plain terrain that just looks normal. So I have most of the things that I need: the moss, the bone blocks for the bone meal, I have the wood prepared. The one thing that I still need are gonna be some oak leaves. So I think I'm gonna set up an area where I'm gonna keep replanting the oaks so I don't destroy the forest. And then I'm gonna come back and start working on the path. Since inventory space is a bit limited, I'm gonna do the moss first, go all the way through to the village, and then I'm probably going to come and then add the leaves and the fences and all the other things to make it look a bit more pretty. So it's looking like this with everything grown up with all the moss around. I actually added some lights underneath the carpets to make it even more spawn proof. And the next step is going to be to add all these fences that I have with the leaves. I'm going to try to make it work. I'm not going to overdo it too much, but I'm going to make it so the path feels a bit more enclosed. Yeah, so I'm going to go all the way through to the other side of the base. So it's going to be kind of fence like that. Maybe add some leaves like this. Add one behind maybe. Maybe add a bit of height onto it. Then in random places just add one fence post. Just to keep it more varied. I could probably make it even more enclosed, but I don't want to make it too much. Yeah, maybe a few leaves behind that. Probably gonna have to grow a few more trees. I don't think I have enough leaves. But for now it's gonna do. I feel like this doesn't work if it connects. It needs to be kind of by itself for this to work. And then I can probably put leaves like that. One there. Maybe some like this. Get rid of some of the grass. I feel like too much grass makes it looks kind of bad. And also, if anyone is watching Keralis, he's saying that more leaves are always better than less. And I think I definitely agree. If it's too empty, it feels way too empty. But if you add too many, I feel like it still looks too good. So I think I'm gonna go with the too many option probably. By the way, I also remember that I added a small resource pack here. So the saplings now kind of have a second growth stage, just to add a bit more variation to it. The leaves, I see that they're actually moving because of the, not the resource pack, but the shaders. There we go. So I'm trying to farm a few more leaves. I'm just kind of planting saplings, chopping them down, replanting. And I believe probably going forward, I'm gonna add a few trees around here. I feel like it would make the path look a bit more full. Like if this would be all filled along the path rather than just be an empty field. Got to the bridge and I ran out of leaves like 4 times. I ran out of fences once. I have 3 left now. So I definitely need to farm a bit more to actually get to the base. But it's going along well, I would say. It's basically looking really nice. And I'm really happy how it turned out. It looks so much fuller now. Maybe get rid of this. And it actually looks like it's separated from the rest of the road. And the trees would definitely make a really big difference. Now that I see them added here, I think it's gonna change the whole landscape if I have those. Maybe I will add some different trees, and the contrast in between them might make them a bit better. Also, if you have any suggestions about the path that I could do, please let me know down in the comments. I'm thinking to maybe add some lanterns on the fence posts that are a bit further away from the actual lampposts. It could add a nice little dynamic, but I'm not too sure about it. I'm gonna have to test it first. Finally made it back to the base. I think I'm gonna leave this empty here, just kinda leave it as a cliffside. Maybe I'll replace the sand with something. Maybe with like either dirt or something not to be sand. It just looks like wrong. But other than that, the path is actually fully complete now. So added this azalea bushes, the azalea leaves. I totally forgot that I can actually get those with shears. Or you could even get them with a hoe, but I didn't have silk touch on it. So the path is looking really nice, and I'm really happy and proud how this turned out. It looks pretty much the same all the way to the end. So obviously here I had a bit less space, so it had to be a bit empty. But at least you can enjoy the view. You can see the horses all the way in the distance. And the lamps with everything just makes it all come together, I guess. I think the next piece is gonna try to add a few trees on that clearing over there that's closer to the village. I think we can see it probably from here. Yeah, so it's a bit of an empty area around there, so maybe where those 2 trees are here, I'm gonna try to add a few more just to kind of look a bit more enclosed, let's say. Also in this path here, I added an azalea tree. And it actually looks really cool how this area it's fully enclosed by the trees and the leaves and everything else. So I kind of want the same aesthetic across the board. I don't know if I'm gonna manage to do it this way. And I don't know if I wanted this thick across all the path. But I feel like it works here. It just like kind of turns around the corner. And then you pretty much get here. you walk across and you almost see the bridge that we built. So you can see all the signs, well, the lampposts going all across the valley there. And then here you can see those trees in the way, and then you can actually see part of the path all the way here. So I added a few trees here, but I'm not 100% sure that I really like it. It kind of fills up the space, but I don't know if it absolutely belongs here like this. Maybe if I leave them a bit more scarce like that, kind of looks like the river kind of took over, and then some of the trees kind of started growing now almost. I feel like if I would add too much, it wouldn't really work too well. So I'm probably gonna leave it like this for now and maybe figure out something a bit later. Here's a full above video of the path with all the trees, the bushes, the lampposts, everything in between. Like I said, if you feel like I could add anything to make it even better, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll definitely take up your suggestions. I definitely want to make the world look more aesthetic, and I feel like this is a very good step in the good direction. So here we are again at the end of the episode. I pretty much achieved what I wanted for this, to get all this path fully complete all the way through. The big thing is gonna be to make all the paths look very nice through all the places that we're gonna be traveling to, so that's gonna be a challenge in itself. But then again, I'm probably gonna use the nether for really far away places, so it's not gonna be too bad. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like and your thoughts below, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!